Welcome to The Favorites, the podcast presented by Bet365. We are part of the Action Network. Today is our NFL Week 1 Tuesday episode. I am Chad Millman, Chief Content Officer of the Action Network. In a moment, I'll be joined by my co-host, Simon Hunter. We have so many new listeners, though, before Simon comes in. So many new listeners. We got to do some housekeeping about the episodes, about what we're doing that's new this season, about why we do the episodes the way we do them, and, of course, our $120,000 Pick'em contest. So first, every week for years, Simon Hunter, professional bettor, and I have been picking 5 games against the spread for a big money season-long Pick'em contest. We spend Tuesday's episode doing an early look at our leans, making some early bets. We do a Simon Says bet. That's where everybody needs to make that bet right away because we are convinced the line is going to move against us if we don't make it. We will do the exec decision bet, which is where I give my best early bet of the week. We are reviewing every single game on the NFL slate. We will do that at 1:45 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays during the NFL season. Thursdays, we will narrow the slate down. We will talk about the picks that we are likely to put in our season-long Pick'em contest. This is the backbone of the show. It's what Simon and I have been doing for years. We will narrow it down to those 5. He will give me his opinion. I will try to convince him why he should do something else in his infinite wisdom as a professional bettor. We will also, on Thursday, give our big balls bet of the week, which is the one everyone knows it just takes cojones to make that bet. We'll do our foxhole because it's when Simon and I are alone and we are together, and there's no one I'd rather be in the foxhole on a big bet with than Simon Hunter. Those picks officially lock on Sunday. Once we've seen all the lines move, usually make like 1 or 2 changes on Sunday. So follow the Faves 5 in the Action Network app if you want to see those official 5 picks when they lock in. 2 massive, massive changes to this year's lineup. Number 1, we are adding a Sunday night recap episode, look ahead episode. Look, I think Simon and I decided this was Simon's idea. We just spent way too much time on Tuesday rehashing Sunday's pain, too much time in Slack and on text between me and Mitchell and Simon, talking about all the agony and the bad beats and the misplays. We want to get that out of the system, out of our system as soon as we possibly can. We want to share the pain with all of you together. Plus, we'll take a look if there's any early lines that pique our interest. So that means now, going forward, 3 shows a week, 1:45 p.m. on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. on Thursdays, probably around 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, usually just ending just before Sunday Night Football. We want to get in as much as we can about the late games before Sunday Night Football. Most important, contest. The whole reason Simon and I started doing this show is to talk about the 5 picks that we would put in the contest. People love being able to hear what the picks are. Now you can compete against me and Simon. We are hosting the big money contest along with our partner at Bet365. We are giving away $120,000 in prizes for season-long and weekly Pick'em contests. You can compete against me and Simon all season long and every single week. We're paying out the top 10 winners in the season-long contest. First prize is getting $40,000. Second place gets $10,000. We are paying thousands of dollars in prizes to weekly winners. First place in the weekly gets $1,500 every single week. Here's how you're going to sign up. Go to favorites.actionnetwork.com to sign up for free. If you are listening to this podcast and haven't signed up yet, what is wrong with you? We have literally many tens of thousands of listeners of this podcast. We do not have tens of thousands of people signed up for the contest yet. Matt Mitchell wants 10,000 participants. Let's not let Matt Mitchell down. Why listen to this pod if you aren't going to sign up for a free contest? Matt Mitchell, what am I missing? And try not to browbeat people. We still want people to like us.
That's good feedback, as I do feel like just shouting at everyone I encountered this week. That's week one, baby. Okay. To enter, again, go to favorites.actionnetwork.com and sign up. Sign up takes like 2 seconds. I believe it's just your name, email address, and betting state. It's very easy. Again, the game is totally free to play. If you're paying or having to purchase something to play, it's not this game. You must be a U.S. resident, 21 or older, and it is valid in every single state plus Washington, D.C., except for Rhode Island and Washington. If you're mad about that, call your senator. We will be covering the regular Sunday slate and Monday Night Football games only. Those are the contest games. Yes, you can change your picks. You just cancel your entry and resubmit before 1 o'clock on Sundays. Yes, lines will change throughout the week. They are contest lines, so they'll all be half-point spreads. No pushes in this contest. Your lowest 2 scores, your 2 worst weeks, those will get dropped after Thanksgiving week, which is week 12. So if you lay an egg to start or you miss week 1 sign up because you're, right now you're driving a cement truck or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just keep going. Keep making your picks. We also had some folks identify a couple of issues like the pick confirmation emails that didn't include the specific point spread that you locked in. Thank you, everyone. Don't worry. We're getting all those fixed. They'll be good to go very shortly. And then finally, most importantly, we have an FAQ page that will answer all of these questions and more. It is in the podcast description of this episode if you're listening. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, it's in the description right here as well. So that should have everything you need to know. Thanks for playing. Good luck.
Favorites.actionnetwork.com. Go sign up for free. We want to thank our partners at Bet365, our sponsors. As a reminder, the Favorites podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game, get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer is available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And now, without further ado, you can watch them live on the YouTube. So if you're enjoying us on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. He is my BFF. He is my companion. He is my compadre. He is my co-host. He is my brother in arms. He is the guy I was slacking all weekend about one game in particular, confirming that we love this game. Professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Finally made it, Chad. Week 1.
Listen, I was thinking about this. I said this to my kid this morning. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives.
That's how you felt?
It's full of opportunity. I am so excited. And you know what my wife said to me when she heard me say this to Owen, my son? She goes, "Oh my God, you are so annoying."
Yeah. I was going to say, hopefully she was rolling her eyes while she said it.
Oh my God, she can't stand me. But listen, that's why I have you. That's why I have Matt Mitchell. We're a football betting podcast, and we have football to bet on, and we have so much shit to get through. I don't want to waste a single second. Evan Abrams has armed us with so many stats. I am going to blow people away this morning with reasons why they should follow us on all of the bets we're going to make, because it is going to be freaking glorious. Simon, I don't want to waste a second. Detroit visiting Kansas City, Thursday night game. The spread is 6.5. Money is on the Lions. Bets are on the Chiefs. This is a no-brainer. This is a no freaking brainer. What do you say, Detroit?
Yeah, we're not a Detroit fan for the division, but we are a Detroit fan for Thursday night, right? So all the people, we're going to say a lot of contradicting stuff to what we said in the summer. I try to tell people all the time, it's all broken down into 5 different seasons, right? You got the off season, you got the draft, you got the regular season now, we got the playoffs, and you have the Super Bowl. So every season's handled differently, and that's no different here when we start off week 1. We're thrown out last year. So, yeah, looking at this matchup, Chad, pretty simple. Is Chris Jones playing in this game, Chad?
No.
No. And is Chris Jones the most important player by far to the Kansas City defense?
So important that Travis Kelce is begging him to come play.
Yeah. So literally anyone with a computer can go online and look up the stats, what this defense is against the run with Chris Jones on the field, and how this defense performs with Chris Jones off the field against the run. What does Detroit want to do? They want to feed David Montgomery and a rookie first-round pick they just took this year. So you have a team in Detroit that has an excelled offensive line with 2 running backs they want to feed, going against a defense that was already weak against the run, and now without arguably one of the best run defenders in all of football, and Chris Jones, for this game. It's exactly the reason why you've seen the money coming on Detroit, and this number has gone from 7 to 6.5, and now some books have it at 6. Most books have it at 6.5. I think the Chiefs will win, so I won't be touching the money line for the Lions here. Like, if you want to put the Chiefs in a teaser, I get it. But for this show, when we bet straight bets, it's a no-brainer. It's one of those we would make if it was still 7. It'd probably be a guaranteed play for us in the contest. But the fact now, I think it's probably going to get to 6 by the time this game kicks off, or 6.5. If you're in a game, if you're doing a contest that locks on Thursdays, I just wouldn't do it because you're not getting the best number. And looking at this game, you're going to want those numbers against Mahomes. We talk all the time. Mahomes is scary as hell to bet against. But me and Chad love to do it because he's always valued. So this number probably should be 5.5, 6. We're getting a free half a point at 6.5 just because of the Mahomes effect. They're not accounting enough for how Chris Jones is missing this game. So, yeah, Chad, you knew right away we were going to love this game. And all the reasons are there. We have a good offensive line and a great run game against a weak defensive line. So can't ask for much more in this matchup.
Let me give you some stats. So Evan Abrams puts together this great list of stats that are betting relevant for every single game. And he'll do it all season long. And of course, because it's week 1, I've had a month to digest this thing. It was 24 pages. It took me weeks to read it and then cut and paste everything I wanted, not just into our script for week 1, Simon, but I've got a specific coaches stats file. I've got a specific QB stat file. A couple stats to think about. Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. Who is the most profitable QB against the spread over the past 5 years?
Jared Goff. I think he's covered every year.
Jared Goff, 48, 32, and 2, is the most profitable quarterback in the NFL against the spread the past 5 years.
In week 1, I don't think he's ever not covered week 1. He has some crazy.
Jared Goff, 6-0 against the spread in his career.
Week 1.
Week 1.
Yeah. So I thought it was something crazy like that.
Yeah. All right. So here's another stat that's important to know. Patrick Mahomes, right? We always talk about, like, Patrick Mahomes is not a great guy to bet on because the spreads for Patrick Mahomes are always so freaking high. It's impossible for him to cover. As a favorite in 84 games in his career, 41, 42, and 1 against the spread.
Yeah. And then another stat for people to remember is he's the other way, though, when the spread is below 3. Like when he is 2.5, 2, or an underdog, he is money. And that's the thing with Mahomes is he wins. That's what I'm telling you. You can tease this game. You just don't want to take it on the spread. So if you want to tease it down to half, I mean, we all know this is a great Wong teaser. Do it. Throw this one in. I mean, it's going to be one of the chalkiest tease plays of the week. But that's what's so great about Mahomes is he'll cover you if you're someone like me likes to bet it straight, and then he'll cover Joe Public, the people that like to tease him. So that's one thing about Mahomes is he's never going to get blown out. He's always going to be in a close game. And it's one of those things, if he has the ball last, you just need him won by 1 point. So that's why this is a great number to tease. But I think Chad just nailed it. It's just there's a lot of bets we make. We don't have a choice to make. We're just following the book. This is one of the games. Like everything points to taking this number here with this Lions team.
All right. So in the next game, we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Cleveland Browns. This is another Pro Joe game. We've got 83% of the money on the Browns. We've got 59% of the tickets on the Bengals. The Browns are 2.5-point dogs. They were 3-point dogs when this line opened many, many months ago. People who listen to us all offseason will know that the Browns were one of the teams that we immediately bet when week one lines opened. Love the Browns in this spot. I mean, I can give you a million reasons, but here's another good stat from Evan Abrams. Okay. There's all the Joe Burrow stuff, which we can talk about, but here's one of my favorites. All right. Hold on. Where did it go? Hold on, Simon. Small dogs in weeks 1 and 2, 1 to 5.5-point underdogs, 60, 34, and 2 against the spread since 2018. But here's one of my favorites. Road underdogs in week 1 who missed the playoffs the year before, 84, 57, and 5. Since 2006, it gets better, 71, 43, and 4. So it's a great spot for the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland is at home, though, but I do love that stat, which you can use for other games. But the big one here, Chad, is the stat you love with the home divisional dogs, right? I mean, we have evidence here, I think, since, 2018, 2019, they're 7-0.
Yeah, you're right. I read the wrong one. I apologize.
It's okay. But yeah,
Dude,
I don't want to confuse people.
No, you're right. You're right.
Browns in the home spot. Like we got a home divisional dog here. I was dying for a 3. If Burrow was healthy coming into this game, they would have gave us this 3 for sure. So
yeah,
kind of stinks we're losing. I feel like what we should be getting here is truly a 3. But this is easily another game this week. People, if you're new to the show, this is what me and Chad do. We're going to make bets. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to hate it. But you'll see it's going to work for you. The math backs it up. Like this is one of these games. Me and Chad didn't, as soon as this number was played out, as soon as it wasn't a pick, which it should be a pick, we had to take Cleveland. Like if the Bengals here were +3, we would love the Bengals in this matchup. It's going to be a close, ugly game, and it's a divisional game. We're getting +2.5 for the home dog in a divisional game. People don't realize it, but they're going to see in this game the Browns have one of the best D lines in all of football, and I think they're going to dominate on both sides. I think they're going to be able to run the ball at will against Cincinnati. I think on the other side they're going to be able to get after Joe Burrow really well in this game. Where Joe, he might be back, right? He might be back, but you know it's going to be weird. Anyone that's come back for an injury, that first game back is always a little weird, right? You're always a little nervous about that leg. So the one of the things that makes Joe and Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, the reason these guys are top 3 is their movement in the pocket, the fact that they can run at any point and get you those 10 yards, that first down. Now we're taking that away from Joe because I don't think Joe's going to be running in this game because I don't think he wants to risk re-injuring this hamstring in the first game of the year. So, yeah, to me, 2.5, Chad, we'll take that. This is one of these where I already knew months ago this was going to be a contest play for us. So, a no doubter play. I wouldn't make this my Simon Says because my hope is Joe Burrow gets cleared, the public money keeps flowing in on this Bengals team, and we get that +3. So, if you don't want to bet the 2.5 yet, I got no problem waiting. I think I'll either get up to the 3 or it just stays at +2, +2.5.
I'm curious to see what your Simon Says is going to be because I was surprised you didn't pull the trigger right away on the Lions with that line potentially going to go lower to 6.
It could. I just wouldn't just because I think every parlay, every teaser, everything is going to be tied to, the public because I'm stupid too. Like I've done a teaser with the Chiefs in it. It's just, this is what we do. We want action on the first game. But no, I have a big bet for that Thursday game, and I'm going to give that out on the Thursday show. So people be ready for that.
All right. Kevin Stefanski, by the way, another Evan Abrams special. Of the 142 head coaches in the NFL the past 20 years, Kevin Stefanski is the second least profitable, ahead of just Joe Philbin. So we're banking on the least profitable head coach against the spread of the past 20 years. But I love the spot. Absolutely love the spot. Also, don't forget, Joe Burrow coming off the injury. Cleveland Browns have a arguably top 5 defensive line in the NFL. and probably the most impactful edge rusher in the NFL in Myles Garrett. And they've given him more help this year than he's ever had.
And we will both agree how dysfunctional the Browns been the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Right? Guess what? Joe Burrow is 1-3 ATS against them in the last 2 seasons. So for some reason, it's a team he struggles against, and that's what happens when you play divisional foes. Some teams just have a good read on that player. Seems like the Browns have a good read on the Joe Burrow.
All right. Well, look, we've already locked one in. We love the Browns plus 2.5. It's certainly one we'll be talking about on Thursday. I would bet our wise guy buddies are going to make this potentially a sharp call subject for Thursday's show. Simon, everybody at Action knows I treat my body like a temple. That's the nicest thing people would say about my eating habits. That's why I'm excited about our new sponsor, Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Factor hooks you up with delicious, chef-prepared, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your house. You'll save time, eat well, stay on track with a healthy lifestyle. Our producer, Matt Mitchell, has also been a Factor guy for a year now. There are 3 things we love about Factor: no chopping, prepping, or cleaning up. You get great flavor and the nutritional quality you need to tackle polarizing topics like the Atlanta Falcons. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So this fall, run your own 2-minute drill with Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Select your meals and enjoy fresh meals delivered to your door. Just head to factormeals.com/favorites50. That's favorites50, and use code favorites50 to get 50% off. That's code favorites50 at factormeals.com/favorites50 to get 50% off. No joke. We got these meals. They lasted 36 hours in my house. Like, everybody in my house tore into these things. They were freaking amazing. I think I told you, like, my kid, who never asked me permission for anything, was asking me permission if he could eat the Factor meals because he knew how much I was enjoying them. And yes, I shared because I'm a giver. Simon.
Chet, let me just stop you while you're doing that whole ad read, which I love you for. God bless you. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, and his availability is in question for Thursday night. So I just fired away. My phone's blowing up right now. I just fired away on the lines. I'd grab it now if you can get this, people. 6. Grab it. 6.5 if you can still find it. But this is a huge deal. Like, Travis Kelce, if you look at their third down success rate, he is the key to that Chiefs offense and staying on the field on third down. So now they're without him and Chris Jones. Like, this is a nightmare for the Chiefs to start their season, their campaign to repeat as Super Bowl champion. So, grabbing that 6 right now. Literally, my phone is going crazy right now. People, if this is real, if he really did hyperextend his knee, this is a big, big deal to this Chiefs team and their future this season.
By the way, this is another reason why you have to download the Action Network app and follow us in the Action Network app. I bet the Lions plus 6.5 on Saturday. While I was making college football bets, I saw it sitting there, and I'm like, why am I waiting? What am I waiting for here? So now I feel even better.
You were spot on. I should have made Simon Says. You predicted it. Damn it. Should have listened to Chad. He sensed it.
I am in mid-season form. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I believe might be the worst team in the NFL this year, visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Not surprisingly, given someone like me believing this, 63% of the bets are on the Vikings, but 83% of the money is coming in on the Buccaneers. Let me give you one thing before we get to the analysis here. Todd Bowles, as a dog, 18-27-3 against the spread. That's 140th out of all NFL coaches in the past 20 years. I think this team is terrible, Simon. I don't think you want Baker Mayfield to be your quarterback. I feel like it's a big number, and I feel like the professionals are betting on the regression for the Minnesota Vikings. Personally, I want nothing to do with this game.
Yeah, we can stay away from it. People will be shocked to know, while my dumbass is all over the Saints for this division, while everyone and their grandmom is telling you to bet Atlanta for this division. The pros have quietly been betting the Bucks. They love the fact that it's Baker and this Bucks team in the sense that Baker don't care. Baker can throw 3 picks, and he's like Brett Favre. He would just come out there and keep slinging. And when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I get it. I get what the pros are betting here, but I'm with Chad. Like, I can't get behind this team. I don't feel comfortable putting my money on Baker yet in this team. So people won't be shocked to see, even though the money and the bets are coming on the Vikings. I know plenty of pro groups have come in. They've taken the 7, they took the 6.5, and they've taken the 6 now of the Bucks. So if people want to know what the pros are betting, they're taking the Bucks in this game. I'm with Chad. I will either bet the Bucks, maybe I'll tease the Vikings, but no way is this going to be one of the picks for my contest. I just don't have a read on either of these teams.
This is an easy pass. Here's one cool stat, though. The Vikings have the worst point differential among 13-plus win teams since the merger. They had a negative 10-point differential last year. The next lowest of 13-plus win teams, the Houston Oilers at plus 26 in 1979. All right. This next game is really tricky. Really tricky. It's Carolina at Atlanta. The Falcons right now are 3.5-point favorites. What's interesting to me is slight edge in the bets. So generally that's the public for those who are listening for the first time. If I say bet, that means the public. That means the Joes, the Schmoes, the people who don't do this for a living, who know less. They usually bet popular players. They usually bet popular teams. They usually bet in negative EV situations. And the pros, that's usually the money. That's the Simon Hunters of the world. Those are the guys who do this for a living, have a little bit more of insight, bet with a little more of an edge. Panthers slight edge with the number of bets, 51%. Money rolling in on the Falcons. I love the Falcons. I do. I mean, I got Bijan to lead the league in rushing. You know how I feel about Arthur Smith.
Yep.
Why do I hate 3.5?
And honestly, I'm not going to let it scare me off. Where I'm all for bad math in Atlanta and Ritter in this spot, but this is a great spot, right? He is a second-year quarterback starting at home, playing against a rookie quarterback and a coach that is terrible on opening day. Historically, he's been horrible at getting his guys prepared and ready for opening day. And the other side, we have a great coach. So, I look at this matchup and I think exactly what you're thinking, Chad. And I also think if Burns doesn't play this game, if Brian Burns is going to hold out and not play for Carolina in this game, even more of a giant edge to this Atlanta team. So not shocked this number opened at 2.5. The pros started betting it. We kind of saw that game where the Panthers really couldn't block anyone. Their starters couldn't block anyone. And, as stupid as it sounds, the number did move. It moved from 2.5 to 3. Now we've seen it take another step up to 3.5. Just so much money is coming to Atlanta because it is a good spot to take Atlanta. Like you'll see in this show, I mainly like taking dogs week 1. I just feel like you're getting good value there. There are a couple of chalk favorites I'll take, and I'm with you, Chad. I mean, maybe we'll force this one in. I'm with you. I don't love it at 3.5, but I'm not going to let it scare me off. Like I would still take it at 3.5. To me, Atlanta feels like the right side here, especially they have a 3-headed running back monster there. Like they don't need the quarterback in this game, really. To me, this could be a low-scoring, drag-it-out kind of win, and I think they're the better team in this matchup. So, yeah, I'm with you. I like the Falcons here.
So we like the Falcons. I don't know if I like it enough for the contest. I'm writing it down, but I will be betting the Falcons at minus 3.5.
Yeah.
100%. All right. We got to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are up to 5.5 right now. What's interesting here is that the money and the bets coming in on the Jags, and I feel like you and I are going to run counter to every single metric here. This is the one we were slacking about this weekend. It bounced to 5 this weekend because of the Jonathan Taylor stuff. You said, let's wait. It's now at 5.5. Every year we've been making money on the Jags visiting or hosting the Colts and betting on the Jags, and that being the only game in which we really felt comfortable betting on the Jags. And now all of a sudden we get the reverse. But this feels like a smash spot. The Colts have a decent defensive line, probably one of the better defensive lines in the division. They have good good players at the middle of the defensive line. DeForest Buckner is probably one of the better interior defensive linemen in the league. And the Jags' offensive line was already bad when Cam Robinson was playing, and now he's not even playing because of the suspension. So it feels like we have to take the Colts here.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm
This
looking
is
at it
a
right
big
now.
balls candidate. This is a big balls candidate. I'm just saying it right now.
Definitely. And like what you just talked about, I'm just looking at it right now. It is up to a lot of books at 5.5. So another game that I was going to make my Simon Says, but the way the money's coming in and the tickets, it could get to 6. So it's a great number. I would say the fear here, Chad, is what I talked about months ago. Is we're backing a rookie head coach and a rookie QB in week 1. So the fear is this coach doesn't know how to prepare right, and he doesn't have the team prepared right, and it's a bad spot to step in. But what makes me have to make this bet, and Chad, is the Jags are the team. I mean, people nonstop been talking about them all summer. So now we're in a spot to fade the team that has been hyped up all summer. Yes, they might win it, but me and Chad are going to have to bet this, and we have to put this in our money line round robin. It's just the perfect spot of a home divisional a dog that's getting close to 6 now. That's crazy to think about. So to me, most guys I talk to make this number 3, 3.5. We're getting a ton of free points, and this is going to be one of the biggest bet public games of the week. They love the Jaguars. They're the fun, exciting team, right? They have all the fun new toys. Calvin Ridley's first game. Man, that's crazy. I didn't know it was getting that high. I saw it at 5. I didn't know it was up to 5.5. So the fact that it's getting close to 6 now, just wait. I just don't see this number dropping too low. So it's looking really good to me.
Here's another great stat. You and I both love Doug Peterson, and we were all over the Jags last year. And we like a lot about the Jags this year. I like Trevor Lawrence to lead the league in touchdown passes. But Doug Peterson is a coach whose teams get better as the year gets on. September to November, 29-37 against the spread. Thank you, Evan Abrams. December on, 24-15. He is a late season coach. He's one of those savvy veteran coaches who understands the league. Simon, you talked about there are 5 sort of seasons and tent poles for the NFL. The in-season tent poles are kind of built the same way. And Doug Peterson is a guy who understands how to get his team motivated for the latter half of the year. We both believe the Jazz are going to run away with this division. I think Trevor Lawrence will be a Pro Bowler. He'll step up into that superstar category.
We do like Tennessee to give him a shot, though.
Yeah, we do, because we love Mike Vrabel and we love that defense. But I think at the end of the year, it's going to be the Jags' division to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Simon, I'm calling it right now. Executive decision. 49ers visiting the Steelers. Steelers are 2.5-point home underdogs. We got 59% of the bets coming in on the Niners. 84% of the money coming in on the Steelers. Can I give you a couple of stats about Mike Tomlin? Okay.
Please.
The Steelers, 53-30-4 as an underdog under Tomlin. That's 64%. He is the most profitable coach as a dog in the past 20 years. Rah, Mike Tomlin. Matt Mitchell, play the hits. That's what you do. You play the hits. Rip it. Steelers as a home dog under Tomlin. 16-4-3. And by the way, 14-9 straight up. So now we get the overhyped 49ers coming to play the Steelers at home with Brock Purdy back from injury, with Nick Bosa still holding out, not knowing what his status is going to be, against a team with TJ Watt, who, by the way, when TJ Watt is playing, Steelers were 8-2 last year, straight up and against the spread. Like, of course the executive decision has to be take the Pittsburgh Steelers as home dogs.
Yeah, and it's a public dog, but it's one of those things we have to take it. And, it's not only one of these spots of Do we love it mainly because Nick Bosa's out? No, but that is a big factor. The fact that he won't be in this game, I mean, we know that as good as you want to make this defensive front for the 49ers, it all goes with Nick Bosa. Like, he's the one that's getting the double teams and fighting through that and still getting sacks. He's just a game wrecker. And you take that away and you go on the other side and bring in TJ Watt fully healthy. Like, last year, he just wasn't healthy. Even when he came back, he said he was playing hurt. So I didn't even know that stat. The fact that he was 8-2, fighting through those injuries with this team, ATS, it is very public. There's two really public dogs this week. This is one of them. I'm with Chad. We loved it at +3. We still love it at 2.5. I make the 49ers a 1 point favorite. So I do think they'll win this game, but I think it's going to be really close. And the fact that you're taking Nick Bosa away, I probably would move it to a pick at this point. It's just such a big deal, the fact that he won't be in this game, even if he signs a contract right now, right? That means he gets into camp by, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then he's on an airplane Friday in Pittsburgh. Like, there's just, if anyone could get away with it, it's him, but they're not going to throw him in there and play a full game. They just won't. They're not that dumb of an organization. He'll be part-time even if he signs this week, which is a big deal to me. So we both love Kenny Pickett. We think he'll take another step, and we do believe in Tomlin in these kind of spots as a home dog. So another game, you'll get used to listening to this show. The Pittsburgh was good to us last year. We took Pittsburgh in a lot of these kind of spots, and they were really good to us. So, Chad, no brainer. I love that you made this one of your plays. It's just we were going to be on Pittsburgh months ago, and we still are at this point.
We were on the Steelers at +3. I still like him at 2.5. I probably would have avoided it if not for the Nick Bosa situation, and then going through Evan's notes and seeing what he added about the Steelers, and he just put another one in the chat that the Steelers are profitable as a dog on the money line each of the past 6 years and 8 of the past 9 years. Also, I love Kenny Pickett. I love George Pickens. Like, I think Pickett's just a baller. Like, I love his attitude.
Yeah.
I love him on that team. They just feel like a really fun team to bet on, and I'm going to look forward to watching them beat up on the Niners, because I'll probably put a little bit of a taste, maybe a quarter of a unit on the money line.
Oh, it's going to be in our money line round robin. Already knew that one.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a game we can basically skip, from my opinion, unless you feel differently. Arizona at Washington. The Commanders have moved up to 7. Everybody's on the Commanders because Colt McCoy was cut. Kyle Murray's not playing. You and I actually liked the Cardinals at +6 during the offseason. Even though we knew Kyler Murray wasn't going to play, we liked the idea of Colt McCoy. Without McCoy, I don't know what I'm getting. This is a pass to me. Should Sam Howell be a 7-point favorite at home in his first opening day NFL start?
Yeah, and we definitely got caught. But again, it wasn't like we bet big into it. But I was same thought as you, Chad. I thought this is way too many points. We'll take the veteran quarterback and Colt McCoy. And now it's completely gone the other way where, the fact this is up to 7, Chad, I know you say you don't want to take it or talk about it really. I got to do it. Like, this is one of these games I have to take Arizona in the 7. I mean, it's going to be a fun bet where we won't play in the contest, right? And this is one of these, I'll probably lose 45-0. And I feel like people will be like, oh, what a stupid bet. But if you go over time and you take these bets, right, which is Washington's going to be the most bet team. They'll be the most teased team. I mean, honestly, the first game that popped in my head when I saw this matchup was when Tampa Bay went to New Orleans and played against the Saints, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and they were a 14-point favorite, and they lost outright to Ryan Fitzpatrick in Tampa. Because Tampa at that time, everyone was like, they're tanking. They're the worst team of football. They're going to tank for Winston or whatever it was at that time. Football's really stupid, people. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, that team, Tampa, they might have only won 2 more games the rest of the year. But that week 1, they upsetted that Saints team because there's a rhythm to football, and there is no rhythm yet, right? It's week 1. Things are weird. People get really tense, and Chad just nailed it. This is this kid's first start for Washington at home. They've sold out. The fans are coming back because they fucking hated that owner. They got a new ownership group in there, so they're showing out. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. I got to take Arizona, and it's disgusting, so I'm not going to make us take it because there's other games I like more. But if you want to bet what the pros are betting, this is what they're doing. Again, if you want to tease Washington, totally get it. I can see them winning this game. But if you're going to take the number, you have to do it. You have to take the 7. And just know there's like you and 4 other guys in the entire great state of America, world of America, and everywhere else holding that ticket because no one's betting Arizona. And that's kind of why you have to make this bet. It's just you're playing with the book here and saying the public is overinflated this line. It should still be 6 probably. The fact that it's all the way up to 7, 7.5 now, Chad, it's one of these bets I'll hold my nose and I'll bet it.
All right. So here's the one reason why we now have to bet Arizona. In the Action Network app, the Commanders are the most public side.
Wow. Yeah. So that's week 1. You don't want to be that team. You don't want to be the most bet side. Last year, I believe it was the Colts at -8. They tied Houston. So they went to overtime. So if you had a Houston ticket at 8.5, you already won your bet going into overtime. It was a beautiful thing. So it feels like one of those spots once again.
All right, next game. We talked about the Titans a little bit in the AFC South, and when we were doing the division previews, I would say the Titans and the Saints, and we did this with Raybon and Brandon Anderson, one of our last episodes of the previews. Raybon's favorite bet was the Titans over 7.5, and your favorite bet was the Saints. I can't remember if it was the Saints to win the division or the Saints to
Saints to be the 1 seed in the NFC East, 20-1.
Saints to be one, like a long shot bet on that. So this matches 2 teams that we've sort of been talking a lot about in the run up to the season. We now know Ryan Tannehill isn't going to be traded. We know that Mike Vrabel, as an underdog, we absolutely love him. He's 20-19 straight up, 23-15-1 against the spread, including 22-9-1 when the spread is 3 or higher. So, like, we got that spot. Everything says take Mike Vrabel and the Titans. Is that a contest play? Are you comfortable with the Titans against the Saints right here?
I wouldn't, because we already have one public dog in the contest in the Steelers. So I can't do Tennessee, which is another biggest public dog of the week. Everyone's taking them. Most pros have this game at Saints -3, -3.5. So I think it is where it should be. So to me, there's not much to talk about here. It's just 2 teams we have high expectations for this season. It's a good number. Like the books, they made it a good number. They're going to get a lot of public money on Tennessee for what Chad just talked about. I think most people view them as the same level as the Saints. So that's going to be the most public sides this week is going to be Tennessee 3.5, 4. Everyone's going to be betting that.
All right. Let's get to our friends at Game Time, Simon. I know that you know the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States. It's our sponsor, Game Time. I love Game Time for 2 reasons. 1, because they sponsor the show. Number 2, I actually use Game Time to buy tickets. Everybody knows that. I talk about it on every show. They've got amazing last-minute deals on all sorts of tickets, including pro and college football games. Speaking of which, I'm in Game Time right now from my house here in Connecticut. What can I do? Well, I can definitely go see the New York Yankees for less than $10. This week, I can also go see the New York Liberty WNBA Super Team for less than $35. No matter where you live, download the Game Time app, get out, have some fun this week, sweat your bets live and in person. You can redeem code favorites for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just download the app and enter code favorites for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. As a reminder, producer Tito would get very mad at me if I didn't remind you. Catch every episode of The Favorites live on YouTube for those enjoying it now. Give us a like, subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. This one's juicy. This one is juicy. The Houston Texans visiting the Baltimore Ravens. This is the biggest spread of the week. We were in danger of not having any week 1 double-digit spreads. We now have it. Baltimore Ravens at home, 10 points against the Texans. Sign me up. Sign me up for something gross. Sign me up for something uncomfortable. Sign me up for the Houston Texans +10.
Simon says Houston +10.
Simon says, I love it.
This won't stay at 10. To me, by even Thursday, I think this number will be back to 9.5, 9. It's just, this is crazy.
The second.
Yeah, I do think you have to grab the 10 now just because I don't think it's going to last. I'm shocked it got to 10, but at the same time, maybe it's because Houston didn't look so great in the preseason. But yeah, I'll try to be quick on this one just because it is very simple. We have a Ravens team who just implemented a totally new offense. They have not had anything coming out of camp that sounds like it's been amazing, right? That said, there's been a lot of struggles learning the new offense. Lamar's had struggles pushing the ball down the field. Houston has a lot of things that aren't great, right? They got a new coach, they got a rookie quarterback on the road. I would honestly usually just stay away from that, but the fact that it's gotten to 10 now, I have to take that number. It's too inflated. This Ravens team, I do think they are really good. Got them in the playoffs. It's just a team that will be performing well this season if Lamar stays healthy all season. They have a ton of talent. But in this spot, that's so many points for a team that's going a whole new route offensively. So to me, the fact they have questions with Zay Flowers, they got questions with Odell, we got Mark Andrews just popped up on the injury list. These are all things that factor in here. Okay, that's a big deal for this Ravens offense. So yeah, my biggest thing here is Chad just touched on. We take double-digit dogs in week 1, so we're lucky enough to get one. I didn't think the books would get us there. They did. It's for a good reason. You're betting on a rookie head coach and a rookie QB on the road in Baltimore week 1, but that's a ton of points. In the NFL, this ain't college. In the NFL, being a double-digit favorite, maybe week 7, 8, sure, that's fine. And week 1, that's too many points for so many question marks with this Ravens team. So yeah, no-brainer bet. Simon says take the 10.
Simon says Houston Texans plus 10. Since 2002, rookie head coaches 56, 39, and 2. That's 58% against the spread in their first ever road game. Bodes well for D'Amico Ryans. That's from Chris Raybon. You're right. This isn't college football. 10 is huge. This is in Oklahoma minus 36. Shout out Mike Calabrese, who gave that away on Big Bets on Campus. I cashed that ticket. All right.
Or our guy Stuckey, man, he gave us Bama. What were they? Minus 40, minus 39. That one hit too.
It's what we do.
It's go, what we baby.
Do. We break it down and we talk about winners. Here's a game that worries me. We know we love the Bears. They've been one of our favorites all season long. They have been the darling. The Super Bowl odds have been cut in half. Justin Fields, lowest odds for a Bears player to win MVP since Jay Cutler. This number's dropping. Was it 2.5? Bears minus 2.5. Now it's Bears minus 1. It's kind of a pass for me. I think that there's too much unknown on both sides, and I think too much hype for the Bears, and still so much unknown about Jordan Love that knowing how much is on the board that we still love, I'm walking away from this one.
Yeah, no, that's a good job by you, Chad. I was worried you're gonna be a little too emotional. Let's just stay away because I'm with you. I'm too biased to this one where I want to take the Bears. I'm getting a good number on the Bears now, but a lot of pros like Green Bay. The public loves Green Bay in this spot just because everyone's taking them for this division. They think Jordan Love, even though he's not shown anything, they think he is that guy. So, to me, this is like 30 years of, the Bears have been the little brothers, and they are finally – this is like the moment where the next 10 years will be the era of Justin Fields and glory for the Bears team, or – they kind of lose this game. All Bears fans are just crushed, and Jordan Love now is right back to what they were dreading on seeing, which is another good quarterback in Green Bay. So as far as futures go and just the next 10 years, 5 years for franchises, this is probably – it's stupid because it's week 1, but this sets the whole tone for the whole season for Green Bay and for the Bears. Like the winner of this – that's the cat up that shoots you off to maybe win the division upcoming season. You lose this game, that's truly a punch to the gut to them and their entire fan bases, because both fan bases are losing their minds right now. Like they're both can't stop defending Jordan Love, can't stop defending Fields. So I'm glad Chad came with senses. We're not forcing the Bears in here. We'll bet the Bears, but we'll watch from a distance.
Yeah, we're not forcing a bet on a team that lost 7 straight home games to end the season, lost 10 consecutive games to end the season, and finished 3-14 last year. Let's get some perspective. All right.
Yeah.
Besides, the next game involves your Philadelphia Eagles, whom you love, and the New England Patriots. And we have been talking about this game all season. One of us got an itchy trigger finger on Saturday and bet the Patriots at plus 3.5. The line is now 4 in a lot of places, which bums me out. But we love the Patriots here. Like this is a game we're going to have to talk about on Thursday as we get closer to the contest, because I think it's going to be hard to keep it out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be in there. It's one of those spots where it was dropping, and then the news came out that the right tackle for the Patriots is going to miss this game, most likely. That's a big deal. Like, if their right tackle's out and their left guard is out, that's a huge deal when you're going against a defense that had 70 sacks last season. So, makes sense when the line moved up to 4. I can tell you there's not a professional in the world that's not taking the Patriots in this game. It's one of those games where the line came out in May. It was one of the first bets I made. It's just really easy. Sometimes our job's really easy. Usually it's hard, but in these kind of spots, it's probably the least amount of work I had to do in the game, just because I knew I was already going to get a bunch of points of value just because the Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year. And that's how the public bets, right? The public is looking at this Eagles team as if this is week 10 in 2022 without realizing it's week 1 in 2023. It's totally irrelevant how dominant and good the Eagles were last season. This is a team that has a new OC. They have a new DC. They have a bunch of young guys starting for them now on defense. That's a big deal. Like, that's just not throw it out, right? Because I think if you put these two teams, same exact teams, and they played in week 10, this would be a totally different line this season. But because it's week 1, the public is just in love with this Eagles team. So, this is probably going to be one of our foxhole bets, big balls bet. This is going to be one of them on Thursday, just because most people I talk to, this is a hard bet for them to stomach, taking this Patriots team against this Eagles team that they're just like, this is the best offense in the league. Hurts is going to be a top 3, top 4 quarterback this season. Like, it's just hard for them not to take the Eagles here, where, you were just taking the value, Chad. That's why I love making these kind of bets where it's like, we're getting an extra 2.5 points of value here for doing nothing. Like, this Patriots team only got better this offseason by adding Bill O'Brien, by really getting this defense straightened up, and the O-line should be better than it was last year. So, again, that's the worry right now is they have injuries to the O-line, but that's why we're getting that extra point. So, +4, got to take the Patriots.
I'm really proud of us, Simon. We're passing on the Bears. We're betting against the Eagles. We're professionals, okay? We don't get emotional. We're like Gordon Geckos. We don't get emotional about stocks. We play the number that's in front of us. That's what we do. Rams, Seahawks. Rams on the road. Looks like they're about +5.5, +5. Pretty evenly split. Bets on the Seahawks. Money on the Seahawks slightly. I see 0 advantage in this game. Given all that we have on the board, this is kind of a pass for me. I'm looking at 7 games already that I know we want to talk about. I don't see any edge here.
Yeah. So say I had Travis Kelce grayed out as my number 2 most important player for third down success rate. Number 1 is Cooper Kupp. So all my Rams futures are dead. My over-under bet on the Rams is dead. It all died before the season even started because Cooper Kupp, he must be in real pain with his hamstring if he went all the way to Minnesota and Minneapolis to get this thing checked out. Like, the fact that he left California, went to go see a specialist in a different state, that's a nightmare. And it's week 1. So, I'm pissed. It's one of those teams where if he was right and Stafford was right and Aaron Donald's right, this team is way better than people were perceiving them to be because those guys are all so talented. You take one of them away, there's no team that could afford to lose one of their 3 big stars than the Rams because it's literally those guys and a bunch of junk. So just an absolute nightmare if you're a Rams believer this season. Cooper Kupp, I don't think he plays in this game. Like most guys are talking, saying he probably won't play next week either. Week 3 is when you expect him to be back. So I've already bet on this game. I've already taken the Rams, but I'm not putting any more money on it. I'll let it ride. I'm not buying out. I still think it'll be a close divisional game. But Chad's right. This won't be in our contest.
No. Raiders on the road at the Broncos. Look, everyone's anticipating a lot from Sean Payton. Everyone's excited. We love the idea of the Broncos over 8.5 wins. The money, though, coming in on the Raiders in this game, I don't have a strong feeling about it. I would lean Raiders because of what you just said about the Rams, too, like divisional game. They tend to be pretty close. Not a strong feeling, though.
Yeah, I'm on the Broncos just because I think it's a coaching mismatch. I just think Sean Payton's so much better than Josh McDaniels. He'll have his offense so prepared for this game, and yeah, Chad's right though. This is one of these games we just don't play in the contest. Like this doesn't make my top 10 biggest bets. It's just I'll take the Broncos. I'll take Sean Payton here, but no real feel for it. But not shocked Vegas is getting a lot of the money. Chad just talked about it. It's a divisional dog with two teams that no one's really sure about. Like there's just total unknowns with Jimmy Garoppolo, total unknown what Russell Wilson will be like in this new offense. So I'm with you, Chad. Let's pass on this one.
Dolphins visiting the Chargers. Dolphins +3. Ton of money coming in on the Dolphins. Most of the tickets coming in on the Dolphins. They're a little bit of a public darling right now because of what they did in that offense. Obviously, there's a lot to be seen for how Tua can protect himself. Man, it's weird to me that so much money, Simon, is coming in on the Dolphins. I don't think this is a contest play for us, but something's, pardon the pun, fishy about that much money coming in on the Dolphins against a Chargers team that we kind of like.
Yeah, if it gets a 3.5, maybe they'll give me some pause, and maybe I will take Miami. But you could have got Chargers 2.5. Still, at a couple books, you can still get it. That's the play. You're taking the better team at home under a field goal. We already saw, if you go back and watch a tape from last year, the Chargers defense-wise, they matched up really well against what this Miami team likes to do on offense. They totally shut them down last season. So, he's been hearing about it all week. We'll see if Mike makes the adjustments here for the Dolphins. But, McDaniels he definitely has a lot of weapons at his disposal here, but so do the Chargers. So it's one of those where this will be the biggest bet overs of the week. Everyone's going to be on this over. If you can get Chargers 2.5, I'd take it. If you can get Miami later in the week at 3.5, I'd take that too. It just feels like this is a 3-point game. Chad, you're right. It's not a play for us, but if you're looking for what side I'll be on the Chargers at 2.5, 3.
We got to get to the prime timers. Here's an interesting piece of trivia for you with the Dallas Cowboys visiting the New York Football Giants as, what is it, about 3.5 point favorites, depending on where you see it. Dak Prescott, with Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers, is now the longest tenured quarterback for his team, longest tenured starting quarterback for his team in the NFL. Dak Prescott. It, honest to God, feels like he just started playing yesterday. And now he is the longest tenured starting quarterback. Look, you love the Cowboys this offseason. The only reason we give the Giants any credit as a team in the year in which they just came off more wins, more one-score wins than anybody in history is Brian Daboll. And we believe that Brian Daboll as a coach can mask so many of the issues this Giants football team has in a way that will help them impede regression that we've seen from so many teams in this spot. I kind of like the Giants if I can get half a point here.
Yeah, it is one of those where I've heard from plenty of Cowboy bettors and fans where it's like, we own the Giants. Stay away from this team here, and I just can't help it. I think Chad just talked about it a little bit where it's like, when I look at my ratings, I have Daniel Jones just ahead of Dak. And I get it. They love Dak, and the fans really believe in him, but come on, people. Chad just talked about this man is the longest tenure quarterback in NFC. He's never been to an NFC championship game.
In the NFL. NFL.
Yeah, NFL. That's even crazier. It's one of those where I can't just throw out the game against Brock Purdy. Like, he lost to a 7th-round pick in the playoffs last year at quarterback. He got outplayed by Brock Purdy in the playoffs last year. Like, those are real issues. So we'll see if the adjustments they make, right? If getting rid of Kellen Moore is what fixes this team. But from this standpoint, we got to take what I think is the better quarterback and the better coach at 3.5 opening night at home in prime time. This is one of those where we might end up making it one of our 5, but we have the next game we're talking about is definitely one of our 5. So that's why I don't know if I want 2 primetime games in our picks here, but Man, I do love that 3.5. And that's another one where I can see the public joining me. Like, it feels like the public, most people think they'll come in on Dallas. I think most of them will take the Giants at night at 3.5. It's just a good number in a divisional game at home opening night. So, yeah, it's hard not to take that 3.5.
It's going to be a phenomenal chase game. Everybody who blew their money stack on the Ravens or the Eagles or the Niners is going to be going all in on the Cowboys as road favorites in the division in prime time on Sunday night. Dude, I've never been more convinced about the Giants than I am in this second right now. All right,
Me
the
too.
game of
It's
the week.
scary.
It's scary, right? All right. What did you and I say as soon as Aaron Rodgers signed with the Jets? FADE, the JETS, 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 Jets. Bills on the road, under a field goal in the division, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers' debut. Oh my God. Matt Mitchell is going to have his gloved hands. For those who are new to the show, producer Matt Mitchell from the Paris of Western New York, the Rochester Buffalo region, such a Bills fan. He likes to eat wings with rubber gloves because he's kind of crazy. He doesn't like to get his hands dirty. I'm thinking about him watching this game with the Bills as 2.5-point favorites, and how is he going to feel when it's over, Simon?
He fucking hates it. He hates this number. He hates this game, and for good reason. It's the definition of a trap. Like, we always joke about getting the script. This is what the script says. The script says the Bills will lose this game. All week we will hear about how great Aaron Rodgers is, how great the Jets are. I mean, ESPN will be going ape shit talking about the Jets all week. And then we'll get a little gift the following weekend where we'll catch Dallas at home against his Jets team. They'll blow them the F out. The Bills will come home, play the Raiders at home next week. They'll blow them the F out. So you're going to be pissed, but we're going to be on the Bills next week, going to be on Dallas next week. This week, fading both of them. Like, I am praying, Chad, this gets the 3. Please give me this 3. I'm dying for it to get there. I've been annoying the shit out of all these bookies all week, just saying, give me the 3. You know you're going to have the 3 by Monday. Just give me it now. Why are we wasting time at the 2.5? Anyone I talk to, it's like 4-1, 5-1, the money, the tickets, all of it on the Bills. It's just, this is how the NFL does it. Like, these kind of games, the matchup, it's literally all in the trenches here. And that's where we're going to get the advantage, where the Jets D-line couldn't have asked for a better matchup against this Bills O-line. That's the Bills' only Achilles heel, is their offensive line. So love that matchup. On the flip side, the Bills have no pass rushers. Von Miller isn't in this game. Like, that's the key here, where the Jets' weakness is their O-line. There's nothing to attack here on this Bills side. I mean, it's just a big deal, the fact that he's not in this game. So, yeah, no-brainer. This is going to – I love that Giants number. I love this number even more. I just love the Jets' defense in this spot. I love Aaron Rodgers offensively in this spot. Give me the Jets to, be the team that everyone talks about all next week and then gets totally blown out by the Cowboys the following weekend. It's just – sometimes it's too easy. It just feels like it's setting up that way.
Isn't it amazing how that happens, right? We've been talking about how much we hate the Jets all season long. And in week 1, we're like, of course we're taking the Jets. This is a no-brainer. In our list right now, I'm looking at our list of games that we've sort of pegged. I'm looking at the Browns plus 2.5. I'm looking at the Colts plus 5.5, hoping it'll go up. I'm looking at, who else am I looking at? The Steelers plus 2.5, the Cardinals plus 7. Simon says is the Texans plus 10. By the way, the exact decision is the Steelers plus 2.5. Simon gave me a backhanded compliment saying it was a public dog, but he would take it anyways. Patriots plus 3.5. Giants plus 3.5. We're hoping to get a plus 3 on the Jets. What's interesting to me is I left out the Falcons there at minus 3.5 because that's the only favorite we have.
And we might do it because our rule is we try to always force in one favorite. We usually go one favorite, 4 dogs, and that's been really good to us. So they might make the cut.
But even looking at the whole board, like the favorites we liked, you like the Broncos. I kind of like the Raiders there. Not
No,
enough for
it's
it to
hard to
be.
find a favorite week one, Chad.
Yeah,
I know you're probably going to go through it. There's probably 3 favorites I like. It's just really tough to find them just because the public overrates what happened last year so much.
dude, there's 2 favorites that you like. It's the Falcons and the Broncos. Other than that, there is not a single favorite that you like, and I only like
The
one of
Bears,
those.
they're
And,
-1 still.
but still, we don't
I
love them.
know.
You know, we don't love them. I don't like the Raiders enough to make the Broncos Raiders our first bet off
I know.
of the
I know.
season. It's too early. Right now, I just want us to be friends. Okay. Quick reminder. I just recapped the games. These are the games we're going to focus on Thursday's show. On Thursday's show, what will happen is over the next 48 hours, we're going to get a bunch of calls from other people in the industry who are critiquing or supporting a lot of the lines that we talked about. Some of the games that we talked about, they might say, wait, I love this game. You guys missed it. Some of the games that we talked about that we love, they might say, hey, we hate this. That'll be sharp calls. We will get to our foxhole bet, which is the bet where Simon and I are alone. We'll get to our big balls bet. I think we got a pretty good feeling what that's going to be. And we'll sort of narrow it down to our final 5. Listen, as I've told you 1,000 times, we are doing a massive, massive contest. Everything we're talking about, the 5 picks Simon and I put in, you can compete against us this year for the first time ever. Okay? We are doing the Favorites Podcast $100,000 Pro Football Pick'em contest. We got a season-long contest. Top 10 gets paid out. You'll get 40 grand for winning, 10 grand for coming in second. You'll get paid $1,500 if you come in first place on a weekly basis, because we're paying out weekly best scores as well. Go to favorites.actionnetwork.com to sign up for free. As I said, we have tens of thousands of listeners on this podcast. We don't have tens of thousands of people signed up yet. We got a lot, and we're going to get close to that 10,000 number Matt Mitchell wants. But if you're listening to this podcast, how have you not signed up for the contest, which is free? Favorites.actionnetwork.com. All right. We are presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game and get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offers available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Simon, week 1, baby. Week 1.
Finally.
Sign up for the contest. The link and the FAQ are in the YouTube description, by the way. Matt Mitchell wants me to remind you of that. For my BFF professional bettor, Simon Hunter. God, it was good to go through those games. I felt like the only natural thing I do, talking about these games and being happy about it. I am Chad Millman. This has been the Favorites Podcast presented by Bet365. We are part of the Action Network. Listen to everything we're doing. Listen to BBOC. Listen to the Action Network podcast. You got to check out the Thursday episode with Chris Raybon and Stuckey breaking down NFL. Get the 6-pack. It's fantastic. Download the Action Network app. Follow the Favorites Podcast. Follow the Faves 5, where you'll see our picks for the contest. That is favorites.actionnetwork.com. Download us from Apple Podcasts, from Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until Thursday at 11 a.m. Thursday at 11 a.m. Love you.